things go south at Fox News, there's always a job for you at Heritage.
Well, you've saved me before, so thank you.
We do that for a lot of people very happily. We're not called America's Outpost for nothing.
Last piece of advice for young people: get married.
Yeah,
Think
get married
small.
and have a ton of kids. I mean, get married when you're too young, have more kids than you can afford, take a job you're not qualified for, live boldly, stop getting high, stop doing anything that blurs your vision or makes time go faster. You're gonna die before you know it. Don't waste a second. That's the sin, is living thoughtlessly and wasting time. It's the one thing you can't get back. I've wasted a lot of money in my life. Oh my gosh. I don't care. I don't regret any of it. Every room service meal was worth it. It was fine. But any time that I wasted is really bitter for me because it's finite. And so live as fully as you can. And you can't control all this stuff that's going on. You can't control what Google does. And honestly, they're going to win. Like, the powers that be will win, at least in the short term. Ultimately, they'll all blow up. But like, we're powerless and hated. I think this myself all the time. Are they going to crush me? Oh, yeah. Okay. But in the meantime, you know, I want to experience my life as fully as I possibly can. And I think that starts with having like a ton of kids, like way more than like Mormon levels of kids. I mean that.
All right, guys. So we got to follow up on a video that I made about Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson getting fired on the same day. This is probably one of the most active days in the mainstream legacy media that I have ever seen. Now, the reason why I'm following up on this video is because I didn't really go in depth in regards to what my opinion is on Tucker Carlson getting fired, because we really didn't have that much information in regards to why he was fired. And I think that Tucker kind of deserves his own video by itself, because if you guys didn't know, and I've said this multiple times on my channel, Tucker Carlson is probably one of my biggest influences when it comes to people that I look at, that I say, hey, if I could do my job as well as this person, I am happy, right? I would be very satisfied with the quality of the work that I do. I think that Tucker Carlson is the most talented individual in cable news, okay? He truly does understand how to convey a message and to put out the truth at the highest level in a way that is extremely impactful and thought-provoking, okay? I don't think that anybody does a better job at communicating a message on cable news than Tucker Carlson. And I think that that's why you have so many people in the media that hate Tucker Carlson. He has political opinions they don't like, and he performs at the highest level. So much so that he has more Democratic or registered Democratic viewers than these mainstream liberal outlets like MSNBC and CNN. Okay, that's how big the guy was. That's how talented he is. Okay, he could bring together both sides of the aisle to hear his message, regardless of whether or not you agree or disagree with the guy. Again, his talent is undeniable. And this is why he was such a big influence to me. And it just feels funny talking about him like he's dead. He's not dead. He has so much talent that I think that if CNN was smart, they would actually try to hire him, right? I mean, that would never happen. But if they really want to recover their ratings, okay, if they really want to be neutral, they should get a Tucker Carlson type of guy on the network. I've been basically saying, hey, CNN, you need to go get a Tuck, right? You need to go get a Tucker Carlson, get your own version of Greg Gutfeld, you know, model after Fox News if you actually want to beat Fox News. You're not going to beat MSNBC because you're not going to be more progressive than them, right? You're not going to out-woke MSNBC, okay? That network is just, is off a cliff, right? It's off the woke cliff. But anyways, again, the guy is immensely talented. Whatever he does next is going to be big. He's going to have people that are going to follow him, whether that be running for president, okay, which, hey, people speculate that could be a possibility, or joining some other media network, maybe News Nation, maybe Newsmax, maybe he starts his own YouTube channel, maybe he does his own thing, maybe he joins the Heritage Foundation. Regardless of what he does, the guy's going to be extremely successful. It is just sad that we don't have an anti-establishment voice on legacy media anymore, right? And that's probably the worst part about this, okay? Because Tucker Carlson was the only mainstream cable news host that was willing to push back against the establishment narrative, that was willing to ask questions, okay, to challenge the establishment. And that's part of the reason why he got so many viewers, right? I mean, again, even his fellow colleagues on Fox News, Hannity, Lauren Ingram, they're not really anti-establishment. They're more in line with the establishment, okay? They're more in line with, you know, the Republican Party. Tucker is not that, right? Tucker is a populist, anti-establishment, more right-leaning social figure that, again, I think really captivated audiences and brought people together despite the narrative from the mainstream liberal media that he was so divisive. I mean, what show can you think of on cable news that would have a progressive like Jimmy Dore and also, you know, Trump supporters and be able to find common ground, right? I mean, you don't see that at all on cable news. His show was truly unique, and that's why this is such a sad moment that he's leaving Fox News. And there's actually really more information about why Tucker Carlson is leaving. And allegedly, again, all this is alleged, we really don't know. This is a decision that was made by a guy at the top, okay? Rupert Murdoch decided to let Tucker Carlson go. And we're getting some more information about why. And unsurprisingly to me, because I basically said this before in the past, it's a combination of things, right? It's a combination of things. It doesn't really have anything to do with AOC. I don't think it really has anything to do with the Democrats basically demanding that Tucker Carlson be censored, which is, again, unconstitutional, and clearly authoritarian from the Democrats. It basically just comes down to money, okay? Like, most decisions in life comes down to money. Let's read about it and get more information on why Tucker was let go, and then we'll talk about the impact that this is having on Fox News and their financials because their stock is tanking, right? Their stock is tanking. Tucker Carlson, the provocative conservative primetime host who helped build Fox News into a ratings juggernaut, has been forced out of the network. Fox News announced the stunning departure of its top-rated host Monday with no explanation, but people familiar with the situation who were not authorized to comment publicly said the decision to fire Carlson came straight from Fox Corp chairman Rupert Murdoch with input from board members and other Fox Corp executives. Carson's last show was Friday. Quote, Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways, the network said in a statement. We thank him for his service to the network as a host and prior to that as a contributor. A Fox News representative had no other details on Carson's exit and declined to comment. Carson's exit is related to the discrimination lawsuit filed by Abby Grossberg, the producer fired by the network last month. The sources said Carson's senior executive producer, Justin Wells, has also been terminated, according to insiders. Okay, so there's a discrimination lawsuit that is coming from a female producer that used to work at Fox News on Tucker Carlson's show. I believe that she worked for Maria Bartiromo. And allegedly, she was asked by somebody on Tucker Carlson's team if Maria Bartiromo had slept with Kevin McCarthy or something like that. Some wild stuff, okay? Now, she's, again, alleging that she experienced, misogyny and sexism and anti-Semitism, etc. Now, I want you guys to notice the common denominator and theme here in the Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson firings. Allegedly, part of the firings is because of women, right? So men, take note, okay? When you're dealing with women in the workforce, you got to be very, very, very careful. You have to be extremely careful because it doesn't matter how many Infinity Stones of wokeness you have, right? Don Lemon, who has at least 2 for being black and gay. If a feminist, right, if women are pissed off at you, if they label you a sexist, a misogynist, okay, and they come after you, they will never stop. They're not going to stop until you lose your job, right? A lot of these men in cable news are getting fired because of allegations from women, okay? I'm just saying. It is always the same thing, right? The downfall of a man most likely is going to be because of a woman, right? I'm just saying, like, this is something that shows up time and time and time again, okay? Again, even Don Lemon, his Infinity Stones of wokeness, couldn't save him from the wrath of the angry feminists who didn't like the fact that he spoke some truth about women and when they reach their prime, okay? When they're in their prime, when they're not in their prime. Even though he said it during the wrong moment, it was some truth behind what he was saying, and they know it was some truth behind what he was saying. That's why they got so pissed off at him, right? You can't speak the truth on these networks, right? Start speaking the truth, it's over for you, especially when it comes to women, right? I'm just keeping it 100 with you. But the crazy thing is, now that I think about it, it's almost like none of this matters if you are a biological man that wants to identify as a woman, okay? What women say about you at that point doesn't matter anymore, right? So maybe, I don't know, Don Lemon should have tried to identify as a woman, or Tucker should have said, I identify as a woman, in order to save their jobs, right? Then at that point, it doesn't matter what women say about you. Any criticism of you is a form of hate, bigotry, and transphobia. Maybe that's what they should have did to save their job, right? Anytime a woman accuses you of anything, as a man, just say, hey, I identify as a woman, right? More specifically, I identify as a black woman, right? Therefore, you can't get any criticism, okay? That's probably the best way for you to save your job as a man nowadays, is to say that you are a woman, right? So let's keep going here. Grossberg was moved off of Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo and onto Tucker Carlson Tonight, where she alleged she was bullied and subjected to anti-Semitic comments, according to a lawsuit in New York. In a deposition testimony, the former Fox News producer also said she was coerced by company lawyers to give misleading answers in the Dominion defamation case against the network. Fox News denied the claim and said she was terminated for disclosing privileged company information. In a statement, attorneys for Grossberg suggested her suit was a key factor in Carlson's exit. Quote, Tucker Carlson's departure from Fox News is in part an admission of the systemic lying, bullying, and conspiracy mongering claimed by our client. Former top producer Abby Grossberg said Tanvir Rahman, one of Grossberg's attorneys. Mr. Carlson and his subordinates remain individual defendants in the Southern District of New York case, and we look forward to taking their depositions under oath in the very near future. Murdoch also was said to be concerned about Carlson's coverage of the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The host has promoted the conspiracy theory that it was provoked by government agents, and Carlson has called Ray Epps, a Texas man who participated in the storming of the Capitol but did not enter the building, an FBI plant, without presenting any evidence. I mean, well, a lot of evidence really is kind of circumstantial, but, you know, again, it's just funny because apparently that's backlash because Tucker was basically revealing the truth about what happened on January 6th, which, in my opinion, I'm not sure why Rupert Murdoch would be upset about this. Maybe this is Paul Ryan's influence, okay? Because you got to remember who actually runs these networks. Again, Fox News is just an arm of the establishment Republican Party, and Tucker Carlson running his narrative on January 6th is anti-establishment, right? The establishment, Democrats and Republicans, want you to think that January 6th was the worst day ever, but they actually don't want to talk about the BLM riots / Antifa riots that led up to January 6th. Again, it's absolutely amazing. I'm not necessarily sure if that played that much of a factor. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. But again, this is what they're saying. It's a combination of things. Carlson's ouster was not part of the $787.5 million settlement Fox News agreed to pay Dominion Voting Systems last week, according to a representative for Dominion. However, some of the comments that Carlson had made about Fox News management and communications that turned up in the discovery process for the case may have played a role in his demise. Dominion accused Fox of knowingly making false claims related to the 2020 election. Carlson was by far the most popular individual host on Fox News, averaging more than 3 million viewers a night. But he also brought controversy to the network on a regular basis with his provocative views on immigration and race, which alienated advertisers. Yeah, that's definitely probably a part of it as well, too. People can never forget the role that advertisers play in these decisions, because regardless of how many people you get to view your content, if advertisers don't want to advertise, these networks can't make money, right? They can't make money, and that is an issue, right? I mean, they're never going to put somebody on air if they can't make money, okay? So allegedly, some of the things that Tucker Carlson said were very critical of Fox News and how they handled the coverage of the 2020 election, okay? After Joe Biden was declared the winner, the networks were declaring Joe Biden the winner. Tucker Carlson was saying that management was destroying their credibility, okay? He said it was a combination of incompetent liberals and top leadership with too much pride to back down is what's happening. Yeah. So, I mean, look, again, there's a whole lot of stuff going on here, right? There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. But Fox, at least for right now, today, their stock dropped like 4% in a day, which is quite a bit, okay? Totaling $700 million in value for Fox Corp. So who knows what's going to happen with Fox News? I mean, it could go a few ways, right? You know, I mean, people were asking questions about what is Fox going to do after they fired Bill O'Reilly, who was a top-rated host on the network as well, and they got Tucker Carlson. So they could fill the void with somebody that's just as good as Tucker Carlson. I can't think of who that would be. Or, hey, maybe this could be the beginning of the end for Fox News. Who knows? Do they have a guy that can be just as entertaining but also thought-provoking as Tucker? Maybe they do. Maybe Jesse Waters is the guy. Okay, maybe Jesse Waters is the guy. I think that that's probably going to be the person. But they also have been rotating that slot with Tulsi Gabbard, okay, and other people as well, too. So, again, I think that they're going to go through a number of hosts that they've had to try to figure out who's going to take over that slot. I have no doubt in my mind that whoever they pick is going to be a good pick because, again, Fox News has been very good at picking for that time slot. So, I mean, I still think that there are questions about their future, but I think that they just have a track record of being able to bounce back from stuff like this. So, I'm not sure. But one person's future that I'm definitely unsure about is Don Lemon. Okay, I'm not sure where Don Lemon goes from here because you would think that under normal circumstances, let's say he gets fired just because of his ratings, he would go to a show like The View, right? And maybe he'll be a perfect addition for The View. I mean, he's zesty enough to be up there, right? He fit right in with the cackling hens. I mean, they're all friends. But them sexist comments, though, he may have just alienated himself from ever being on mainstream cable TV anymore because of those sexist comments. I mean, once you piss off the women in that industry, they don't let it go, bruh. Like, they're going to hold that grudge against him for the rest of his life. He's basically done. Okay, he might as well just go full-blown misogynist and start a YouTube channel, right? I'm just saying. That's probably what Don should do. But again, I'm sure out of all these three people we're talking about, Fox News, Tucker, Don, Tucker is going to be fine, okay? I'm sure he's going to be fine. Fox News probably will be okay as well, too, depending on who they find to fill that time slot. And Don, I don't know. I think it's over for Don, right? This might be the last that we heard Don Lemon. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.